Hey guys, welcome to today's vlog. My name is Mandy Meehan. I love Jesus. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner in training. I'm a wife. I am healing from this health crisis, this chronic illness, and I'm documenting my journey as I'm recovering from that. Basically, the diagnosis, because people always wonder, is chronic fatigue syndrome caused by chemical toxicity. Today is Monday, and it's been a busy day for me so far. I've been doing some schoolwork for my nutritional therapy course. I went and I did the infrared sauna, which is a part of my healing protocol. My hair is wet still from showering afterwards. I went to the chiropractor, and I just got a couple things from Natural Grocers. The fact that I was able to do all of that is just a sign of my progress and my healing. Early on in my health journey, I would be in bed now feeling like I'm dying. But it's exciting to just see the progress and the growth, and I'm just looking forward to seeing more. Anywho, I believe this vlog shall be like a day in the lifestyle vlog, and I just got back from Natural Grocers, my favorite grocery store in all the land. It wasn't a huge haul, so I thought I would show you what I got from there. Okay, so first of all, I do have reusable produce bags, but I forgot them. So produce, got cilantro, one of my favorite herbs right now. I've been using this quite a lot. Butter lettuce, this is some of the best priced butter lettuce I've ever seen, and butter lettuce is just amazing. It's delicious and buttery, I guess. It's hard to explain, but this is kind of a cool packaging and still has the root so it stays fresher longer. Just some frozen broccoli, because this stuff is so nice to have. It's so easy just to whip up really quick, which I probably will do that for lunch because I'm hungry. As I'm showing you these groceries, I'm gonna throw that broccoli and this onto the pan. This has broccoli, carrots, cauliflower and zucchini, garlic aioli mayo. Obsessed with this stuff. How I've been eating it recently has just been like a scoop of that with some sardines, or you could use tuna or whatever kind of, you know, chicken if you wanted to, and I just make kind of like a tuna salad with sardines. This is paleo friendly, sugar free, soy and canola free. It's made with avocado oil, which is awesome, and obviously gluten and grain free. Love it. Speaking of sardines, which I feel like I talk about all the time, got 4 tins of sardines. You know, gotta keep that pantry well stocked. And then these are just little fruit leathers, kind of like less chemically, what do you call it, like fruit by the foot or whatever. I don't know, James has been into this kind of thing lately, so this is just one that I found. This was like the only flavor they had that was grape, so hopefully he likes that. I got 2 of these sweet and salty kettle corn popcorns from Boom Chicka Pop. James just loves these, so I don't eat them right now, but he does, and they're on sale right now, so that's wonderful. Almost done. Grass-fed beef Polish kielbasa sausage from Teton's Waters Ranch. It's one of our favorites. Just really great to have that on hand. We usually slice it up and let it get a little bit crispy on each side. Really great ingredients, super delicious. They have a lot of different kinds. I don't know why, we just like the kielbasa one the best. Okay, 2 things left. I just have like 5 sweet potatoes. They're organic, they're delicious. I love them. It's like eating dessert to me is eating sweet potato. Speaking of things that also taste like dessert, the last thing is I got 3 of these Cocoyo raspberry flavor. In my opinion, is the best. I like that they don't sweeten it with stevia, they just sweeten it with raspberry juice. This whole thing just has 4 grams of sugar, just 12 carbs. The ingredients is just raw young coconut water, probiotics, raspberry juice, and 100% pure love. Okay, that's the haul. I gotta get everything put up, then I'm gonna have lunch. Y'all, aspects of life has been kind of rough the last couple days. I just haven't been in the vlogging mood, but I totally feel like vlogging today. This is great. Anyways, I'm currently just cooking an organic turkey burger because I'm hungry and I need something quick. And I'm cooking it in duck fat, which tastes amazing. It's a newer fat for me, and I really like that it spices up the turkey burger because, I mean, let's be honest, turkey just isn't always that flavorful. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing I got at the store was just 3 gallons of water. I've just been getting my water from the filter there. It's just like 25 cents a gallon, and just right now it makes more sense for us financially than paying for a really expensive water filter.
Past the impaction and at least get out what it needs to get out of the body. So consider that when you're looking at someone's food journal.
Hey guys, so I've just been working on more schoolwork. This week, it's Monday, but I'm really excited about the module for this week. I'm in digestion and elimination, which is just such an important and interesting topic. So I'm really trying to take lots of notes and just absorb as much as I can. There's so much that I'm learning that I just want to share. I think I might do some YouTube videos just diving into certain topics. For example, last week I wrote an essay on the dangers of a low-fat diet and the dangers of a diet high in hydrogenated fats. So I've got this content and points written out that I could really easily just like share with you. I thought about doing that video today, but I think I just wanna, you know, do other things. The lighting in here isn't bad. I'm kind of tempted to go into the other room because I feel like it's better. I just get so much more light from this huge window right here. So I want to talk about loneliness. And this is a topic I care a lot about, and I just have some different thoughts about it that I want to talk about. You probably can tell in my videos, but a lot of the things, really most of the things that I share about are things that I'm going through or processing through or thinking about. You'll see kind of how I've been thinking about that and dealing with that recently. But I also know that the things that I share will apply to a lot of people watching. I want to give some big picture perspective and some context on like my journey with loneliness. When I was in middle school and high school, I was pretty fortunate to not have to go through a lot of really intense or significant things. But honestly, probably the biggest thing that I personally struggled with was loneliness. And I am the type of person oftentimes to be friends with everybody. I love just talking to so many different people and hearing stories, and just I can connect with anybody. But at the end of the day, I would ask myself like, okay, who really is my friend? But now with the perspective that I have, I really think that I just was not being transparent, not being vulnerable, and there is this wall that was keeping me from feeling the kind of intimacy that you should have with close friends. And I just remember so many times being in the midst of a crowd feeling incredibly lonely, and there were just so many nights where I would cry myself to sleep, and I just felt this hole in my soul, that this tension, this like there is something missing, that other people had this like connection with people that I just couldn't figure out how to have. Now there's a lot of things that kind of came with this. I think some of it was some FOMO things, some kind of feeling envious of just seeing other people hang out with their friends all the time on social media. I don't know, it was something that I struggled with for a really long time and never talked to anybody about, never told anyone. I just remember so many nights just like crying out to God and just praying that he would help me not be lonely anymore, that he would bring me those relationships. And just for a while it just felt like that wasn't coming. I really do think a lot of it was just that I wasn't opening up. And it's crazy that I open up so much here on YouTube because vulnerability was something that I struggled with for a very long time and still struggle with to different levels and degrees and whatever. I don't tell you guys everything, sorry to break it to you. So with the loneliness thing, I actually had a really powerful like breakthrough moment, and it completely changed my life. And without going into all of the whole details and story, just because that would take a lot of time, it was actually at a dance class. I just had this amazing dance teacher. I went to a Christian dance school. She just stopped the music in the middle of our ballet bar and was like, something's off, everybody come sit down. Different girls just started like opening up and it's like sharing whatever they were struggling with and just crying, and you know, like such a special time. I just knew like my thing was loneliness. I just felt like that tight feeling in my chest. You need to get it out, but you don't want to get it out or whatever. And pretty much everyone had shared, and my teacher looked at me and she was like, what about you, Mandy? And then I like finally for the first time let it out and shared like, I'm lonely. I like feel lonely all the time. I feel lonely in a crowd and I don't know why and I don't understand and I just am struggling with friends and, you know, just like completely broke down. And first of all, I know it was super healing for me to just share that I was feeling that. I think there's so much power and vulnerability. You know, when we actually like put it out there, it starts to lose some of that like negative power. Things just staying in our mind and not getting verbalized can just kind of wreak havoc sometimes, and sometimes you just have to kind of let that out. So I just felt this sense of relief and just like a weight off my shoulders when I first shared that, and I was still crying. It was still really emotional. But then we actually just turned on some worship music, and one of my favorite ways to worship is through dancing, and I can't wait to get to do more of that as I heal. We just turned off the lights and we were just like worshiping, and I was just praying and like lifting my hands to God and just saying like, Lord, I don't want to be lonely anymore. Like, I give this to you. And I can't even explain. I just could really sense what God was speaking to me. I wouldn't say it was like an audible voice or anything. I just heard or just knew these words that, Mandy, you don't have to be lonely anymore. I am all you need. Just cling to me and I will fill that hole of loneliness. And that was just it. You don't have to be lonely. Just look to me. And it's really hard to explain exactly what happened in the moment, but I was just like, yes, Lord, like I want to give it to you. I want to surrender everything to you. I want you at the center. I want to be satisfied in you. And then in that moment, that inner sense of loneliness, that inner struggle, it just went away. That same feeling that I had, I really have never had it since then. My life and my friendships and relationships just completely changed after that. So since I'm talking about loneliness, I wanted to share that story. Even though that was in my life a long time ago, it was really significant for me. And I think there's some significant parts of it. One thing, there is a period of waiting before I really saw the change, and I was praying and seeking God for a while. And then really important steps for me was to be in community and to share, be vulnerable about what I was experiencing. And then I just had that moment of surrender where I was just worshiping God and really just giving it to Him. It was just a really special and intimate moment between me and my Creator. My feet fall asleep every single time I film videos on this couch. So that was my battle back then. But it's interesting now, dealing with chronic illness, relationships become a lot harder. The dynamics really change, and it can be so frustrating just not be able to spend time with people as much as you'd like to. And honestly, that's one of those things in the last couple of days that I've just kind of struggled with. And I mean, there's plenty of people that I could go and find to hang out with and get coffee with and have great conversations with. But just at this point, I'm not able to do the things that I used to do really easily. And that's just a part of the healing process. I am such a big extrovert, and I just used to go from place to place, just hanging out with everybody. I would like work all day and work would end and I'd be like, who can I hang out with now? And I would go on long walks with friends, go have dinner with friends, and I just really honestly didn't know how to rest. You know, I went from that to really, I mean, I get to see my family maybe once a week. I see James, I see my chiropractor. And I see the people at the grocery store. They all know me pretty well now. Every couple weeks I see my best friend, and even more rarely than that, I get to see like other friends. Even when I go to church on Wednesday nights to serve with my switch group, I show up late and don't really get to hang out with a lot of people. I just spend that time with those girls that I lead that are in the 8th grade, which I love that relational time. All that to say, it can be tough. It can be really challenging, and I had a day where I ended up having to be home all day and just had some more physical challenges, and some other days, and I just had one of those emotional breakdowns that day. A lot of the times when I film, you know, and I kind of just talk about things like this, I have like some strong encouragement for you at the end, and I'm sure I could do that right now. but I mean, it's hard for me to, you know, and I think I'm just going to like talk to myself for a minute and encourage myself. I'm gonna try because I'm still figuring it out. Okay, I'm like thinking about the things that I would say to myself. That'll probably make me cry. So ultimately, the first thing I would tell myself is how it all goes back to what I learned from that, you know, high school loneliness struggle experience. That's just to seek Jesus. That is the most important thing, that I fix my eyes on him. And community is so important. Doing life with other people is such a biblical thing. It's something that Jesus wants us to do. But at the end of the day, Jesus is the one who satisfies. So I just have to start there. It can be easy to start to feel a little discontent sometimes, but Jesus is enough for me. Jesus is more than enough, and that's what matters the most. Secondly, I want to remind myself that this is just a season. I truly believe that, and I think it's important in the context of dealing with something physical, or you're trying to have some kind of breakthrough from an addiction or whatever. You know, you're fighting to get past the finish line. It is a season. I will get to the other side of it, and in the middle of this season, I'm gonna embrace it and let God stretch me and use me and teach me. But it's not always gonna be this way. When I'm well, I want to meet as many of you as I can. You know, I know a lot of you are in the area. Like, I want to get together and talk about what God's teaching us and what God's doing, especially for those of you who've been through similar stuff with me. And I want to teach you about nutrition, and you know, I can't wait for all those things. Right now I have to be patient in this season and know that that's coming. So again, if I think about talking to myself, I have to remind myself just to find unique ways to spend time with people. Sometimes that means just having a FaceTime phone call, because you can do that in bed and you don't have to get up and leave the house. So anyways, the loneliness now that I can feel some days is completely different from the loneliness that I used to feel, and it's tough because sometimes it feels like there's not a lot that you can do about it. But I know it's so dangerous to be isolated and just to even feel isolated, even if you're not. Sometimes you can just feel that way. And here comes my encouragement to you. It always has to come, because that's just what I love to do, and that's why I do this. I just want to remind you that you're not alone. I know a lot of people watch my videos, not just people who have chronic illness, but you're not alone in your chronic illness. You're not alone in how you're struggling with parenting or in your marriage right now. You're not alone in your addiction. You're not alone in your fear. You are not alone. God loves you. People care about you. You have a purpose, and God wants to use whatever you're going through. He works all things together for good. Maybe you just need to start letting him use it. Whatever that looks like for you, embracing that. This is probably getting off the topic of loneliness a little bit, but that's what I felt like sharing today. Sometimes I talk and then it's like, did I actually say anything? But then I say a lot of things, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna trust that someone needed to hear something about that, or maybe it was just interesting hearing about my emotions. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that James is home. The scariest spider I have ever seen is out by our mailbox, and he's supposed to go kill it. You didn't kill the spider because you're nice to animals.
It's outside.
It's so big. He said he looked it up and it's harmless, so I'm not as afraid now.
It's a black and yellow garden spider.
It doesn't look as big on camera.
Yeah, I was trying to take a picture of it and it didn't look as big.
Oh my gosh.
If you hold it in your hand, that'll give people a good scale.
That's a good idea. I mean, I've held a tarantula. Oh, there we go. Wait. Okay, now we're going back inside.
Put it by the
How did you take it? How did you set it?
We got a big cardboard box in the recycling trash can.
What?